About 60% of people say they don't really have boundaries between work and their personal life anymore. So when you say you're burned out, I believe you. But I don't always think burnout is the right word for what's happening. I've noticed something with a lot of people I talk to. They're tired, but not in the way they expect. It's not always the workload. It's not always the hours. It's more like they never fully come down. You log off, but your mind is still running. Replaying conversations, thinking about how something landed, wondering if you handled something the right way. And then the next day, you go back in already a little bit depleted. Not because you worked too hard yesterday, but because you never really stopped working. And that's the part people don't always name. Work doesn't just stay in your task anymore. It follows you into your thoughts. For context, I'm Ashley Cox. I'm a licensed therapist and I'm a career coach. And I spend a lot of time talking to people who feel like this, tired, disconnected, but not exactly sure why. And what I hear over and over is this: I don't even know what's making me this tired. And when you can't point to something specific, your brain starts turning on a little. Like, maybe you're just not managing your time well, or maybe you need to be more disciplined, or maybe you just off. But when we slow it down, it usually looks a little bit different. You're not just doing your job, you're staying aware of everything around your job. You're paying attention to the tone, to reactions, to how people might interpret what you said. You're adjusting in real time without even thinking about it. And that kind of awareness doesn't feel like effort, but it is. It's just quiet effort, and it's constant. And that's why this kind of exhaustion feels hard to explain, because nothing big really happened. There wasn't one overwhelming moment. It's just accumulation. A lot of small adjustments, a lot of small holds, a lot of small moments where you chose not to say something, or you chose to say it differently. And by the end of the day, you've used more energy than you even realize. Not on the work, on the management around the work. So when people say they're burned out, sometimes what they're actually feeling is this low level ongoing drain that never fully resets. And the instinct is to fix it the way we fix everything else. You got to be more efficient. You got to take a break. You got to push through differently. But that doesn't really touch the root of it, because the root isn't how much you're doing, it's how much you're holding. And holding doesn't show up on your calendar, right? It doesn't get acknowledged, but your body is going to keep track of it anyway. I've had clients realize this and say something like, I thought I needed a vacation, but I actually needed to stop doing that all day. And that's a very different kind of awareness, because now you're not trying to escape the job. You're starting to see how you're operating inside of the job. And once you see that, you have more options, not instantly, but gradually. You start catching yourself in those moments where you're about to over adjust or overthink or take on something that wasn't really yours. And instead of automatically doing it, you pause. That pause doesn't fix everything, but it is going to interrupt the pattern. And over time, that's what starts giving you your energy back. So if you've been calling this burnout, I get it. It feels like burnout, but it might actually be something more specific, something quieter, something you've just gotten used to carrying. And if you need help figuring it out, what that looks like for you without guessing or overthinking, that's a big part of what I do with my coaching clients, helping you see the pattern clearly so you can start changing the pattern. If this felt familiar, follow or subscribe for more conversations like this around work, energy, and making more intentional career decisions. See you on the next one.